We are another way in which God is becoming conscious of itself. I just got done watching a mystery video. Let's see, what was it called? It's called Global Common Sense, the Manifesto. And he talks about meditation and whatnot. And this is something that I think I would like to come back to more. It's something that I feel like I miss a lot. At one point, I used to go to a theosophical school. It would be one weekend a month for 9 months, and then it would be like 2 years type of thing. And I got a lot out of it. And through that, it was asked of us to meditate for up to 2 hours a day. That's a really hard thing to do. And in class, at least 2 days of class, because we would have class Friday through Sunday, and 2 of those days we would meditate for 2 hours, and then have the rest of the 6 hours or so to do all of the other stuff that we were doing. And most people go, how the hell is it that you can meditate for that long? Or how do you even have the time to do so? And we would do like little graphs and show how long we've meditated. And it was kind of like a lifestyle change, learning how to fit all of this into our lives in order to fill our cup. It's like so many of us are so willing to be there for others, and yet we totally forget about ourselves, and I am included. But I find that if I don't take time for myself, then my cup becomes empty, and I start giving of myself, and I become sick because I have nothing else to give. And I found through these classes that when I would actually take the time for myself, it was amazing that I actually had the time to do so. I would make it a priority. I would come home from work and I'd put up a sign on my door and say, "Don't disturb, I'm doing spiritual essays." That's what we call them, spiritual exercises. And I'm meditating, and I would basically time myself, and I would, if I would start out at 5 minutes, the next day I would go to 15, the next day, move on up. And for me, it was an inward chant that I would do over and over again until my mind became still enough to just be in the void. We all have different ways of meditating, and I found that I was so surprised at just how much time I actually had for everything else when I decided to make myself first. It's funny because I've lost it and I'm trying to get it back. About 5 years ago, I ended up not finishing that class the second year. I started the first 2 or 3 months, and my husband and I decided that we needed to buy a house when you could buy a house, when it was affordable. And that meant that we couldn't go to our classes because the classes it would have been about $400 a month for the both of us to go. And now when I look back at it, it's like there's a part of me that feels like I sold my soul for the material world. I know it sounds weird, but not my soul, but my spirit, you know, like there was a time where I felt like everything was in the flow and and I felt like, I don't know, I was in the flow, and I felt spirit, and I felt source, and I felt whatever you want to call it. And we all have a different language for the same thing. And it was like buying the house was this physical manifestation, and the spirit kind of was on the back burner. And next thing you know, I've got all of these weird physical manifestations happening to me. Physical, I've had surgery, I had a back problem, I had carpal tunnel. All these weird physical manifestations started coming up when I let go of something that was of spirit. So I'm trying to get back to it now. And it's weird because I know that in the back of my mind, spirit has always been something that's been part of my life. But any talk of religion, it kind of gave me a really weird feeling. You know, anything that was like dogmatic and whatnot. And, you know, people need that. I understand that. Some people need that. It's just not something that I did. But it always gave me an uneasy feeling, and I can understand how what I say when I speak of spirit or source or God or whatever you want to call it, people can have an uneasy feeling about it. But basically it's taking time out for yourself, because you're part of the one. You're part of that whole. And I'm at a point of where I'm having to remember this myself. Anyways.